Hello and welcome to Stretford Paddock. My name is Joe and this is the news. We're here at Old Trafford this morning. And you know what? Yes, it's still sunny, but what the lens doesn't show is it's about 6 degrees colder than it has been at this time for the last week. So it's actually quite pleasant for humans, whereas before it's essentially been an attack on anyone from the sky down. So it's quite nice here at Old Trafford today. We're going to be talking about Paul Pogba, we're going to be talking about Diogo Dalla, and we're also going to be talking a little bit about Vinicius Jr. for some reason. Romano's bringing his name up out of nowhere. Right then, first up it is Paul Pogba, and this is coming from The Mirror, and they are saying, and somewhat of an exclusive supposedly, that he has rejected a £50 million contract offer and will leave Manchester United this summer. We've been having this will he, won't he, is he going, is he staying, Paul Pogba facade for basically 5 years. Since he arrived, there's been rumours of him leaving, and now it looks as though we're getting to a point where one way or the other we are going to be getting some sort of clarity on this. This is from David McDonnell, and he said Paul Pogba has rejected a new £50 million contract at Manchester United and is set to leave this summer. Pogba's unwillingness to sign a new deal has forced United to look at selling their club record £89 million signing or risk losing him for nothing next summer. PSG are willing to pay £45 million for Pogba, who has 1 year left on his current contract, but has turned down the offer of a £350,000 a week deal. Again, according to The Mirror. United apparently wanted to tie Paul Pogba, who's 28 in case you didn't know, down to a new long-term deal and were prepared to offer him a huge pay hike on his existing $250,000 a week deal. $350,000 a week, by the way, which puts him on level pegging with David De Gea, which that contract seems more and more silly by the year, doesn't it? Not that De Gea didn't maybe deserve it at the time, but that was in the sort of Sanchez era, and now we're here with David De Gea, who's on $100,000 a week more than anyone else at the club, and just seems a little bit odd to me, that one. But anyway, Paul Pogba is the main story here, and it looks as though, like I said, we are coming to some sort of close on this saga one way or the other. And to me, and to The Mirror, and to seemingly everyone else, it's looking more and more likely that he will be on his way out rather than signing an extension. And luckily as well, which is something that sort of I think needs to be mentioned, all of the rumours at this point are either saying he's going to sign a new contract or, like this, he's going to be leaving and going to PSG this summer. One good thing about that is we're not losing him on a free. It does seem as though we're going to get some money for him, looking to be in the similar region as to what United want to pay for Raphael Varane. Whether that money will sort of come in, barely even touch the ground and go back out again, that remains to be seen. But I'm quite happy at least that United are going to get this done this summer by the looks of things. It may drag on a little bit. We may sort of pull our heels. We may get the next wave of rumours that he's ready to sign his contract. All of that sort of thing does seem to come into play when it comes to these big transfers. But I think we will be getting a resolution to this one this summer. And if The Mirror are anything to go by, he's on his way out. Right then, before we carry on, there has been some breaking news since we got back to the studio, and this is coming from Christian Falk, and it's an update on Leon Goretzka. He said that Man United have offered Goretzka a higher salary than Bayern have offered him. The next round of negotiations with Bayern will follow, and that's Goretzka's negotiations with Bayern, not United's negotiations with Bayern. And following on from that, Jan Arge Fjortoft has said Goretzka and Manchester United contract till 2022. Obviously, that means his contract with Bayern again. That's not when we're going to sign him on a one-year deal. To me, this again seems like he's fighting for a new contract, more than the Varane stuff even, because with Varane, there seems a genuine thought that he's going to be leaving Real Madrid. This Goretzka stuff seems as though he wants to stay at Bayern. That much has been said. He wants €20 million a year. Bayern are currently offering him around 12, and I think he's using United's interest to get more money from Bayern Munich, but definitely worth giving the update there because that is coming out in the last few minutes. Christian Falk there again saying that United have offered Goretzka a higher salary than Bayern have offered him. The next round of negotiations between Bayern and Goretzka will follow. And again, apparently Goretzka wants to stay. He's got 1 year left on his deal. He wants €20 million, as I've said, to be alongside the big earners at Bayern Munich. Through agents and advisors, Man United have offered Goretzka more money than Bayern. So currently United are offering the most money, but it seems as though he wants to stay at Bayern. Anyway, always worth giving the update there. Leon Goretzka, let me know what you think, because to me, it's pretty obvious he's doing this for a bigger deal at Bayern, but there's still a possibility that they don't give him that deal. United do give him that deal, and maybe he thinks, well, you know what, actually, I'm going to call their bluff and I'm going to go for this. It remains to be seen. I'm slightly sceptical of this one. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Next up then is Diogo Dalla, who's reportedly on his way back to AC Milan. He was there last season on loan, of course, and this time round, United want to sell him, basically. We say to them, we need some money for him. They say, we want to loan him, and we'll give some sort of option to buy thing going on at the end, which basically means if he's really good, they give us some money. If he's shit, we get a player that's just lost, even more of his sort of confidence, even more of his transfer market value. They just give him back to us at the end of the season. So essentially, it's lose-lose for Manchester United. We lose a player from the squad. We don't have any money to bring in to fund all the transfers. And if he's no good, we lose him. And if he proves himself, you know what? He's had a great season, maybe even good enough to prove himself worthy of playing for Manchester United. AC Milan get him for a pre-discussed fee. I don't think this works out for Manchester United, but I think the fact that the interest is there, the fact that we did send him there last summer, suggests to me that we are willing to let him go. He's never seemed to be quite in the plans of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He never really seemed to be in the plans of Jose Mourinho. It was a very strange one, Diogo Dalla. We brought him in and then just sort of kept playing Ashley Young. And then we got Wan-Bissaka and then just played Wan-Bissaka. No one's ever really said, right, here's 2 months, you've got 10 games, prove to us you are our number one right back. Not that that's necessarily how football works at all, but you know what I'm saying? He's never really been given an extended period of games in the first team to prove himself worthy of that shirt for Manchester United. So I think he will leave. There doesn't seem to be any suggestion that he won't, just because, like I said, what role does he have at Manchester United? He doesn't have one. He doesn't seem to be involved in really anything at United. It's never quite worked out. I think the best thing for him and for Manchester United would be to move him on. But again, like I said, what's the point in getting rid of him on a loan where it's basically win-win for Milan and lose-lose for United? Let me know what you think. Should Diogo Dalla leave? Should we let him go on a loan? Do you think, yeah, fair enough, let him go. If we get 50 million for him, fair enough. Remember, we did pay, I think, 20 million quid for him 4 years ago now when he was 19. So, I think we should try and recoup some of that money at least, especially where the transfers have gone in the meantime. I reckon we could probably get 15 to 20 million for him if he has a successful season at a top club in Europe. Let me know what you think. Right, then next up, and you tell me in the comments what you make of this story. Last night, for some reason, Fabrizio Romano tweeted, out of nowhere, Real Madrid are not considering selling Vinicius Jr. this summer. Okay, fair enough, makes sense. There are no talks with Manchester United or any other club. Right, well, if there are no talks with any club, why have United been dragged into this? Why has Romano put Manchester United in that tweet whatsoever? There are no talks with United, just so you know. Okay. Right, well, there's loads of clubs he hasn't spoken to, namely all of them, and then we're putting United in the tweet. Is he trying to get a few more likes on his tweet? Because he's tweeted that a player isn't going anywhere and there is no talks with anyone for him, and it's got 37,000 likes for the least news of all time. Obviously, we love Fabrizio Romano, but come on, mate. Let me know what you think. Who else aren't United going to sign this summer? I hope he does a list. This would be good. I hope Romano does a big list. All the players United aren't going to sign this summer. And it's just every footballer in the world except maybe Trippier and Varane. But he has to list them all. Because if this is his new way of doing things, where he lists people we aren't going to sign, he has to do all of them. Connor Cody, not going to sign him. Some lad who plays for Works Uptown, not going to sign him. I want every single list. I want a list of 400,000 players tweeted out in order, back to back, from Fabrizio Romano. Otherwise, this tweet doesn't make sense. Let me know what you think. Did you ever think we were going to get Vinicius? Or maybe now he said it. To be honest, it didn't even cross my mind that we would get him. The most I've ever thought we were going to get Vinicius Jr. is now Romano said we ain't. How's that possible? How's that work? Now I'm thinking, fucking hell, that might happen because he said it ain't happening. What is this? What is this world? Anyway, Fabrizio Romano says we ain't getting Vinicius Jr. What do you make of that? Right, thank you very much for joining me here at Old Trafford this morning again. A much nicer temperature. If we can keep it as close to 20 degrees rather than 30 degrees as possible, I'll be very happy. Thank you once again for joining me. Let me know what you think of these stories in the comments below. Paul Pogba looks as though he may be on his way out of Manchester United after what has been basically 3 years of rumours. So, let me know what you think. Is it time for him to go? Should he stay? Should United force the issue and make him sign a new contract at whatever cost? Let me know in the comments. And again, make sure you check out the rest of the channel. We've got the preview coming up and we've got the watch-along coming up for United's pre-season game against QPR tomorrow. So make sure you check both of those things out. And if you aren't subscribed, please do. We are dangerously close to 600,000 subscribers and we'd love to have your help in getting there. So click that subscribe button if you aren't already. Thank you very much for joining me once again. I'll see you in a bit.